Now our oaths are lost, forsaken. And you must face the monsters our sins have borne.
Careful, darling. I already have a lover. A good one, skilled with his hands.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
This war is far from over.
What the hell happened to Avowed? What the hell happened to Avowed? So, full disclosure, I hesitate to call this a review because I haven't finished the game. Usually my standards of review is I have to fully complete a game and finish it in order to have a decent enough opinion on the game to give you guys, to say whether or not it's good or not. In this case, we have another Starfield situation on our hands, which is probably the worst damning criticism that I can give of any RPG, honestly, comparing it to Starfield. But we have a situation on our hands similar to that where I cannot bring myself to finish this game. I've played, for full context, about 15 hours or 16 hours of the game. I think that that is enough time to form an opinion on whether or not the initial experience is going to hook a player, whether or not it's going to grab your attention, whether or not it is worth the full price of a AAA video game. No, it isn't. It absolutely isn't. This is 100%, in my personal opinion, a case of, yeah, wait for this to be on sale or play it on Game Pass. Because the too long didn't read of this video, ladies and gentlemen, is essentially Avowed is meh. It's kind of mediocre. Now, if you're a huge fan of the Pillars of Eternity IP, maybe you'd approach this with more hype. You'd be more interested than me. And maybe that would get you through the initial slog. I don't know if it improves after 15 or 16 hours, and I'm not going to find out because it's torturous. But maybe if you're already a fan, you'd have a different experience than me. But even then, putting the niceties aside, I'd have to still criticize the fact that if you're not a Pillars of Eternity fan, this game does absolutely basically nothing to grip you and get you invested in the IP. At least for me personally, not even remotely interested. Bored shitless after like a couple of hours. Just bored shitless. I need a drink. I am too sober for Avowed. Far too sober for Avowed. It's a generic copy and paste Bethesda RPG vibes, open world, quests to go kill 10 wolves or collect 20 bear asses and return to the NPC to get XP. Wander around the countryside, picking flowers to gather materials to upgrade your weapon so that your weapon will hit harder. And you'll be able to go to the next zone where you'll be able to collect 50 more bear asses and repeat the same process over and over again. Eventually hitting a wall of progress for the main quest where you have to go back and, go collect more flowers and bear asses in order to upgrade your equipment, in order to progress with the main story, if you care to do that. And that all sounds like it's terrible. And I wouldn't use the word terrible, I wouldn't even use the word bad. I'd just use the word meh, or mid, or generic, uninspired. I could come up with more fancy words for you, but it just feels like I'm bullying them. And I don't think that they deserve to be bullied, unlike Failguard, for instance. Okay, third person kind of makes me think of Dragon Age, which is giving me PTSD. So we're going back to, first person. We're going back to first person. I turned on third person, and I immediately went, ugh, Failguard. I immediately went, ugh, Failguard. It even has the Failguard character, interaction wheel thing where I use the companion abilities to clear stuff. I don't know if it's the game's fault or it's Failguard's fault that I just feel like I'm playing first-person Failguard. But this is just, it's probably the weakest of any Obsidian game that I've ever played. And I played Outer Worlds fairly recently and actually somewhat enjoyed it. It was okay. It was fairly decent. It was alright. Nothing amazing, but it was okay. Avowed is nothing amazing, but it's not kind of okay. It's meh. That really is the best way that I could sum up my experience, is just going meh and shrugging my shoulders and then moving on to something else. That's it. It inspires in me a sense of overwhelming apathy, basically. As always, I say if you can enjoy the game, more power to you, nobody's going to stop you, do whatever the hell you want, blah blah blah, flowers and sunshine and rainbows and shit. Some people are far too polarized in their fucking opinions and act as if because I hate something or don't like something, that means you're not allowed to. That's not how opinions work. form your own ones. I always encourage my audience, think for yourselves, come to your own conclusions, blah blah blah. But we could genuinely just end the video here. At this point, everything that I've said pretty much covers my feelings on the game. But we can, however, cover some maybe positive sides, potentially. But first of all, I'll shit on it a little bit more. The character creation is dreadful. You're a god, like a rare individual born blessed or cursed with a connection to one of the gods. That's why some of these things are fucking covered in fungus. You'll never learn which god touched your soul. I think he touched a lot more than my soul. You have the choice between ugly and ugly. There's no body sliders or anything. You're stuck with the generic body type A, B, or C. And we're not going to touch the fact that there are they-them pronouns, because I already have enough unhinged fighting in the comments section of my Kingdom Come Deliverance review. And I can only handle so much autism at once. Okay? Oh my god, look, they've got they. It's inclusive, boys, it's inclusive! Finally. I have, to my great achievement, managed to piss off both the extreme left and the extreme right during my time on YouTube. It's great. It's great stuff. Anyway, I did say that I'd discuss some positives, ladies and gentlemen. Some positives, which consists of about two things. One of them is kind of iffy, so we'll start with the combat. The combat is okay. That's it. That's the praise that I have. The combat is alright. It's. I could see that it would be fun, maybe, especially if you use magic. I started using magic. That's more engaging than all of the other options. And yeah, that's about it. Really, that's all I can say about the combat. It's fine. I dare say that it nudges very close to being good, but very close to the line of good. You know what I mean? It's good curious, if you will. So yeah, the other thing is you talk to a voice in your head, who I've lovingly referred to as Satan.
Is it you?
Satan? Is that you, Satan? And you influence Satan, or seem to influence Satan. And I don't know how that's going to develop. There might be something interesting there, potentially. I don't want to have to play the game for another 20 hours to figure out if that's going to be interesting. But that's probably about the only thing that I was like, yeah, this could be something. Maybe. Otherwise, it's, yeah, I got nothing else. The companions are bland. One of them is voiced by Garrus from Mass Effect. Brandon Keener. It is Garrus from Mass Effect. I knew I knew his voice from somewhere.
I say we begin with a couple pints. This day's been stranger than most.
I may be small, but my magic is not, I assure you.
I've got a few inches to spare if she changes her mind.
Ugh. Dude, it's a furry abomination. Fucking Xenos, fucking bad, ugly fucking Garrus. But he's kind of like a goody two-shoes hippie that keeps lecturing me about how the world is sunshine and rainbows and shit. The dwarf is your stereotypical hard mercenary, and the girl is science with plants. They're very bland, honestly. I care about these companions, who, by the way, I have absolutely no choice in recruiting whatsoever. I care about them as much as I care about the story, which is not at all. Aside from that, the dialogue options are basically mostly variations of yes, 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 and okay. Very Failguard-y, in that you don't really have much choice. Hell, at one point I had a dialogue option with the voice in my head, Satan, having the conversation with Satan, and my options were literally one dialogue option. Should have just been a third option to say no, and then you're just stuck here for the entire game, and you have no choice but to rewind. Like, I like an RPG, like, coming from Kingdom Come Deliverance, I like the RPG that gives me the option to pick the bad option. Like, the option that just fucks you over. Like, give me the freedom to make the wrong choice. It doesn't seem like I have a choice. Yeah, my sentiments exactly doesn't seem like I have a choice. What the f is the point in giving me literally one dialogue option to pick? I'm not picking it. It's one dialogue option. I have no choice. Like, you may as well just have me say that. I get that it's not voiced, and you still have to, but one dialogue? One option, really. What the f is the point? You may as well just have Satan keep talking and not waste my fucking time. I think that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, at this point, we're just beating a dead horse. At the end of the day, I feel like if you're a Pillars of Eternity fanboy, you're really into the IP, then you might go into this game with some rose-tinted goggles on that will make you enjoy it a bit more. Or if you're a fan of Starfield, then you'll probably like this, because those are your quality standards. I mean, when the bar's that low, you'll like anything, really. I'm sorry, I can't be nice to the Starfield people. I can't. It's not in my blood. It's like asking me to be nice to a Frenchman. I can't do that. Are you fucking mental? He's French. He's a Starfield fan. Same difference, goddammit. Anyway, lads, we'll wrap this up here. I thank you all for watching. Like I said, if you enjoy the game, you can enjoy the game. That's fine. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to give you my opinion. I think it's mediocre. It's average. It's generic. It's uninspired. It's nothing special. And in the face of other releases, it pales in comparison. It looks tiny and insignificant. I'm trying to be nice, but I just keep bullying the thing. So we're gonna stop. We're gonna wrap this video up. I thank you all for watching. That is all for now. Remember to like, subscribe, click on the buttons as if you don't know that they're there. Every YouTuber tells you to do it. You know where the buttons are. You don't need me to remind you every goddamn video. Thank you for watching. That's all for now. Soul out.